Welcome back to South Beach, Miami Art Forum and the Family Office Forum with BitBasel, Future House, and our buddies here, my dear friend Shelby, who I'm going to introduce her as the Ambassador of Coral, which is a well-earned title. We met last year this time. You were doing this incredible, somewhere up the beach here in South Beach. There was like this cool party, really cool party with these sculptures and cool people hanging around, and Shelby, and turning restoration and art and commerce, putting those together in ways that matter and scale. For me, your work is deeply meaningful. You know that we've gone deep in this discussion. I feel it so deep in my body when I'm in your presence. The coral is just so beautiful and wise, and transcends my words, but you have beautiful words for it, so I'll shut up because we're here for Shelby, not me. But please introduce like the work that you do, your foundation, and here's what I want everybody to hear. You know, things that are out of sight, out of mind can be the most dangerous things because we don't pay attention to them. That's coral for me. And when you connect with coral, you will never change. You will never be the same again. And I know what Shelby does is really helps everybody connect coral. So please really pay attention and just hear out what Shelby has to say. And I want everybody to engage, if you're moved, to be able to donate and just really work with Shelby on this work we're doing as the ambassador of coral in the world.
Such sweet words.
It's so well deserved.
You touched on such a important crux, right? The ocean often is out of sight, out of mind for many people. You know, we see this vast blanket of water. But what people really don't realize is the very reason why we're able to live on this planet is because of the ocean, and a healthy ocean. And unfortunately, we have ecosystems all throughout the ocean, including coral reefs, that are at risk of collapse. And they're very systems that helps us support and sustain our life here on this planet. And so the health of the ocean is critical. And specific to Florida, you know, I grew up here, Daytona Beach area, on the northern part of the East Coast. But we have the third largest barrier reef in the world here.
Wow.
And, you know, we're here at BitBasel right now and spoke about the Sea and Space Summit. And we're, I think, just as humans, incredibly curious, right? And we've explored more into outer space than our own oceans. We've only explored 7% of the ocean.
Okay, isn't that cool, by the way? Just like bringing the listeners into what's going on right now. So we've got stage production right now, tons of people around down by the beach, and we're talking about space. So bring that back again. 7 is the number?
We've only explored 7% of our oceans. We've explored more into outer space than our own ocean. And, you know, what we were talking about today and what I had spoke about on this panel as well is just, I really view the answers to a lot of what we're facing in humanity as being in the ocean. And what initially, you know, had gotten me into the space was realizing these very corals that protect our coastlines and are beautiful to dive and support fisheries, they also hold cures that can help save humanity in a variety of ways, and even cancer cures. So there's a coral here in Florida that has 10 times the potency of Taxol.
We talked about that last night.
Yeah.
So like really let the listeners feel this because this is so cool.
There's corals and ocean organisms that have defense chemicals that are much stronger than what we use in modern day medicine. In fact, a coral has a secondary metabolite that has 10 times the potency of Taxol, which is what we use to treat breast cancer.
Okay, secondary metabolite. So I know exactly what that is because I cheated. We were talking last night. But please help everybody else out with that.
I was giving the context of, you know, every organism creates metabolites in your body for your immunity. And so we call some of them like defense mechanisms, right? So corals have these defense chemicals that they produce that we can use for medicine. So everything, all of our medicines come from nature, and we tend to forget that, you know, in the face
how many people even think
of
that?
humanity, that everything that we have, really the biggest currency, really our only currency is nature, and we need to sustain it. And people don't realize that these collapses, it's not just losing something that you don't see. It's going to be something that affects everyone. Your livelihoods, your health, and also the future wisdom of just mentioning that this one animal that has the potential to save and treat different cancers. What else can we learn? When I talk about space,
hold on, you said animal.
I think it really built out.
It is an animal.
It's an animal, folks. Right?
I can dive deep into science as wherever we want to go into the minutia, but ultimately these are living systems. They're not rock. They're very dynamic. And when I talk about space, right, and space exploration, I say, corals were the initial astronomers of the sea that come and use the moon and the tide to settle and colonize by the millions. And we still don't understand those mechanisms. So if we want to go to Mars, we need to look into our own oceans. It's an incredibly hard environment to survive.
And so there's probably so much to learn, right?
So
One
much
from the
to
other,
learn,
which again is so crazy with what's happening right here, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But I think the issue in our present day, in this present time, is we have the opportunity to act. We either are known as a generation that collapsed natural systems to extinction, or before we're on this very brink, we're also the generation that can save it.
That's it.
And so it's what we really are calling people to do is join us. We want to be able to work with incredible people around the world, whether you're a financial analyst or an attorney. You can use your voice and your gift to help solve some of these issues. And we've really come into this space with innovation of really being nature's engineering arm. So I like to use my science mind of the problems going on.
Which is deep, by the way. We've stayed away from geeking out too much.
We haven't geeked out too much.
I'm not going to be able to go that far with Shelby on this
What I
topic.
genuinely love to do is to look at problems in natural systems and say, how can we use today's technology to make a more intentional decision to help support it and scale up restoration? Because nature is incredibly resilient. Like if we were to just disappear, nature will come back. It'll rebound.
We talked about that last night at COVID.
Yeah.
Right when COVID hit and stupid human tricks stopped for a while.
You see
what
nature
happens?
returning.
Quickly.
So, and that's the beauty of where we're at now is we actually have that opportunity to be intentional. So I want to work with the best financial analysts, the best AI people in the globe to be focused on problems that can actually help nature and people. And we have that capacity to do it. And that my organization, Ocean Rescue Alliance International, is our nonprofit.
Ocean Rescue Alliance International,
Yes.
right?
Ocean Rescue Alliance International. We have a nonprofit that focuses on scaling up nature-based solutions. And now a for-profit coastal resilience solutions that's building up infrastructure that can help serve nature and people.
So we're almost ready to wrap, but I really want you, because I think part of your brilliance as an ambassador of coral, which by the way, you're anointed now. It was last night. I'm thinking, you know what? This is who you are.
All right.
So the rest of the world is the ambassador
still
of
with us,
coral.
still excited, right? You
Um,
got to get ready because there's a moon party tonight.
There's a moon party tonight.
There's
The tides will be up.
All right. So
So
we've got one more panel left.
Tell everybody.
And we want to just thank
I think
all
we
of
can
you
probably
who
talk
came
through this a little bit with the
support
volume.
the Sea and
If we
Space
can edit
Summit.
some of this
I
out,
just want to
folks.
remind you,
Getting a little
those
loud
of
and
you who
exciting
have
to
been
back
paying
here.
attention to that was
But
the art
tell
panel.
everybody how you really bring the
We have our
commercial
Ocean
aspect
Planet
in,
art
because that's
exhibit
really
that's
brilliant.
in the
You know, you got a lot of scientists who are in this world, and I love you guys. I know some they're really nerdy and geek out. There's no connection to practical applications. But you really build that bridge beautifully, Shelby. You really do. So give an example of like the art in the ocean.
Yeah, so we use a lot of creative capacity to finance restoration. One of those is using art itself. So we'll submerge sculptures in the ocean that we work with cities, developers, or hotels, or an individual like yourself who wants to create a legacy on the seafloor to tell stories. And it creates life and supports for generations to come marine habitat. But it's a way that we've been able to finance scaling restoration, outplanting over 30,000 corals, and building over 500 artificial reefs through using art as a tool, not just for connection, but to actually finance large-scale restoration. And so we're looking to bring in a lot of other pillars. From the side we use art, but we also do coastal defense. So we can actually come in with measures that will last for 50 to 100 years rather than reactive short-term fixes. So it's really a blessing to be able, I believe in building business models for nature.
True ROI.
It is. I mean, and again, nature is the only currency that we actually have to live, right? We're part of the environment. We're
Just
not
the fact that we
separate.
have to say that is a problem.
It is. And we're too far divided, and I really do view one of the greatest threats to humanity is our disconnection from nature. And the mission with our nonprofit is to really connect people back to nature and create action and really scalable restoration that everyone can have a part in.
Do you have another event coming up anytime soon? Or if you don't, that's cool, because we're gonna make sure that we're gonna work in some pictures for this, so we'll edit this stuff in and probably that comment out. But we want to make sure that we really highlight what you're doing. Do you have something coming up, and we'll wrap with that?
So we recently deployed a project called Guardians of the Reef. We actually have a painting right behind me and this wall behind your backdrop that we did last year in prep for this. But we have 16 art pieces that are snorkelable off of Hollywood Beach, Florida, and an additional 35 structures that are for habitat that will be outplanting coral on. So the next events that we have, we host wellness events called Live Blue. On December 14th, we'll be hosting 50 people to come and dive our reef. But we have monthly events for this. So if you go to our website at oceanrescuealliance.org, you can look at our events that are upcoming. And come dive on the reef with us. Come see the Coral Lab. We'll be outplanting corals with people eventually on this reef site. And there's so many ways that you can get engaged with us, even virtually. And if you want to come inject and help support scaling up our for-profit to amplify this around the globe, we're looking to bring on all the support we can to share our voice and further build our projects all around the world.
So for all you in the northern lands, this winter, instead of just having fun, come have fun and really have fun and do good. Come see Shelby. Get a hotel nearby where, and
somebody sees Deborah Tone.
There's one off of the Diplomat in Hollywood, Florida, but you can come visit us here in South Florida.
Thank you for the work you do, Shelby.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
A lot of people
Great
think
job.
that you were asked for that because you are the creator of the overview thing. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm going to give you a book.
Oh!
We got a few left. Yeah.
About the
Yeah. And it's really the connection here is about it's what's happening with AI right now, and we need humanity in AI. And it's really brings our own wisdom advantage to the world. That's the book I wrote. It's coming out in 5 days from now, so I'd love to do this. Just give you a book.
Oh, amazing.
Okay. So we were still rolling? Oh, good. So I hope you heard that. Cut. Back. Okay. So Shelby, I'd love to give you my book that's coming out in 5 days from now, called The World.
The world does need you.
Yeah. And it's real about reclaiming purpose in the age of AI, bring our wisdom advantage. And I think there's a lot of applications. First of all, you're going to love the book. I know you will. And I'd love you to share it as well. But I think, I'd love for you to follow up with me and see maybe, this wasn't planned, but maybe something that inspires in you about man and machine, meaning as the, coral ambassador, of how artificial intelligence might be able to increase the work you're doing with your human side. So this is for you, my friends.
Thank you so much.
And I think we'll probably do a photo op.
I really appreciate your work. I'm excited to dive into this, and I couldn't agree more. We need more of that actual human heart that has to be present in technology, right? And having not just the discernment, but the wisdom that comes from living systems and people that transfers across generations throughout humanity. So it's so needed, and the world does need you.
We're all astronauts.
And our coral.
And our ocean.
How about a photo with a book?
Yeah.
There we go.
Good. What would it be like to see the Earth in the sky? Like we see the moon in the sky, and I thought, I don't have
Good
an
stuff.
overview.
Oh,
You're
it's so
awesome.
good to
Love
spend time with you.